A Buddhist monk once told me that there's a difference between knowing something and the actual truth. Like, you can know all these things about what a cow soy is, but it's not until you've experienced a real bull from northern Thailand does what you know become truth. We only meant to take a quick break, but it turned out to be a spectacular waterfall, and as the sun turned orange, we all knew it was time to get back on the road. Our first homestay was pretty far off the main highway, but we luckily made it with just a few minutes of daylight left.
Banana.
That's our house right over there. That's where we're staying.
That night we learned that bamboo is stronger than steel, that there was no hot water, and that everything we would eat was grown on the farm. Sometimes when it's too windy, the mist in the morning gets blown away. But we learned that also as the earth gets warmer, clouds move higher, meaning these misty mornings in this canyon may not exist in a few years.
Sawasdee.
I went on a walk with Kowit, and he told me all about his farm and his land. The most surprising thing I learned was that he doesn't sell any of the rice he produces. All this land, 2 harvests a year, and there's only enough to feed his family. This was also my first time meeting the grain I was built with. And truly, what a beautiful crop it is. This day would be our longest day on the bikes. So as soon as the rain stopped, we hit the road towards Mae Hong Son. For lunch, we stopped at a shop on the side of the road, and it made me think about how on road trips in America, sometimes the only food options are from gas stations. But quite literally, in the middle of nowhere in Thailand, this was the cheapest thing we could get, and it was so good. Now before we took off, we just had one rule, which was that we're not allowed to get hurt, but unfortunately Sabina decided to rebel. Sometimes the only thing you can do is smile and be grateful that ambulances in Thailand only cost $20. That night we found a much more comfortable hotel to stay at, which made it incredibly difficult to get out of bed at 5 a.m. But we also knew that dawn rewards early risers with peace, solitude, and sometimes a view that just really gets you going.
Are you crying, dog? You're literally crying. Jackson! Jackson for 2 minutes and he's ordered food.
This is a village by the name of Baan Thai. It was originally settled by Chinese migrants, and there's not much to do here other than eat and drink tea. So that's what we did. Yeah, be careful. Adventures, by definition, are the events that appear out of nowhere. And if you find yourself in one, the best thing to do is pick up some snacks and try your best to make some friends.
So sad. Oh yeah, get in there. We're back in business. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
By day 3, I've noticed that practically all roads are lined with two things: big trees and power lines. It's beautiful, but the vast majority of people have access to energy and electricity. And the question now is, how do we give everyone access to clean energy? Yeah. My favorite thing about this trip was getting to visit all these villages. And on the 4th day, we found ourselves perched on the mountainside in a small village called Baan Jabo. After breakfast on our last day, we went looking for Jackson, and of course, he was meditating on a farm. Now this place was just straight out of a Ghibli movie. I asked this grandma if this was her farm, and she responded by handing me a bowl of rice and told me to eat with her. She was really proud to tell me that everything on the table was grown here. Like Kowit, she's a sustenance farmer, meaning that she only grows enough to sustain her family. This also means that she's one of the most vulnerable to climate change, because the majority of these farmers simply can't withstand more droughts and floods. In many other parts of the world, farmers are already forced to abandon this type of lifestyle. And for me, that's what this trip has been all about, seeing the diverse ecosystems, cultures, and lifestyles that might not exist in a few years. But while they're still here, and we get to experience it with friends, on bikes, that's pretty special, and that's worth celebrating. After we got back to Chiang Mai with whatever energy we had left, we celebrated. Farmstay!
了这个慢了快点路啊，这块儿干这个咩？让那咪慢慢的别说在就那个让啊，但你讲了就叫慢啊，那个慢了快点咩？มีสองคนที่จะรับมันคงอยู่ที่ที่ว่าที่เราให้ปัวรักตัวก็ให้ดีพี่บอกกับแม่ที่เป็นผู้จริงกับพี่ให้กันเจ้าเอรักอีกคอมเมมหาซ่า